All right, everybody, welcome to the podcast. I have a guest. I have my first guest here with me. Do you? I know your first name, Ellory, but I don't know how to pronounce your last name. I was
Missouri.
gonna try, but wait, what is it?
Missouri.
Lazzuri. I thought you just straight up said lizard. My bad.
No, people think I say Missouri. It's the same pronunciation of like Missouri, just with an L.
Okay, because I was like, I saw your last name, and I'm gonna be honest. Like, we'll put the obviously your last name like somewhere in the title or something, but like, I thought it was like Lazzuri.
That's what I get. I get Lazzari, and then I've straight up gotten Missouri, like on the phone. If I'm having to like give information, I'm like, oh, Ellery, Missouri, Ellery, Missouri. Like,
Missouri? Yeah.
yeah.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I feel like that's kind of I have a basic last name. My name is extremely easy to spell.
Yeah.
That's kind of the best part.
Wait, what's your middle?
What's my middle name? My middle name is Luke. I didn't think I'd be I thought this was gonna be one of those things that had my viewers like guess and never know, but I guess the cat's out the bag now. Um So, anyways, we got Ellery here. She's my first guest of hopefully many guests. First, I'll ask some like starter questions. So, like, give us like a rundown of what you do. Like, what would it be if somebody asked you, what's your hobby? Like, what is it that you do? What is the way you explain it to somebody who does not know you?
Okay, so I'm just kind of describing myself. So, AKA, this is a job interview, and you're asking me to tell you a little bit about myself.
This
Got it.
is a job. View this as like Shark Tank, but you're getting no money and nothing from this.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Hmm.
That's awesome. Okay. Okay. So I guess I'll describe myself a little bit. Number one, I'm hella into climbing. That
Okay.
is probably my mainest hobby ever. That, and then also, you know this, but the whole new company, I continue calling it new, even though it's been 2 years now. But I
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
I'm not a huge, like, I took a big, like, year and a half break. But basically, I took climbing and my love for like climbing, hiking, that sort of lifestyle, I guess, and turned it
That
into
vibe, that aesthetic, right?
a little granola girl, if you will.
Granola girl? What does that mean?
Have you never heard the term granola girl?
Okay, I feel like I get where this is going because like go ahead and explain.
Explain. You know how people say like, oh, it's like clean girl aesthetic. Oh, it's. You never heard granola girl.
I've never
Granola
heard of that.
granola girl's like. Have you heard of Crunchy Mom?
That you're making stuff up. This is not real.
No, I'm not. These are real terms. People say like
Okay.
crunchy granola girl if it's like friendship bracelet making hiker bandana wearing chick, or people say granola guy as well, but I don't know what makes a granola guy. I know it makes a granola girl.
I feel okay. I thought you're talking about like granola bars, right?
No, I'm talking about
No?
I'm talking about the aesthetic cold granola girl. Here, I'm giving you a real definition. Hold on.
Are you looking it up?
I am.
Okay, we're actively Googling on this podcast. I need to have like a little man in the chair. What's the guy on the Joe Rogan experience? Or not the guy, who's never mind. There's like it's like a technician guy. It's like, like I always like to say Tucker from Chuckle Sandwich, but people don't refer to it like that. Like, anyways,
Okay. A granola girl is someone who loves the planet and the great outdoors. Personality wise, she's free spirited, down to earth, and environmentally conscious. Signs of a granola girl include enjoying outdoor activities, wearing earth tone clothing, listening to indie music, and buying all natural products.
see, but that's where the granola girl, like, I think it's granola bars because, hold on. I think it's talking about granola bars because like people who like go hiking or do camping eat granola bars.
I mean, yeah, that's probably where the name came from.
Well, that's my whole thought process was like, how does this have to do with granola bars? Because I don't even know what granola means. Like, I just, I was like, I don't even know what that has to do with anything. All I know is it is something that a lot of campers and hikers eat. is granola bars and trail mix.
Yeah, that's probably where the name came from because that's like part of the main. I think aesthetics are stupid. I just used it to kind of explain it better. I think it's so goofy to be like, "I'm a soft girl aesthetic, good girl aesthetic."
Okay. No, I get that. I mean, I feel like it's a good descriptor for what you do though, because you definitely have a vibe.
It is until you box yourself, in my opinion.
That's true. I agree with you on that. But I definitely get a hiker, camper, outdoorsman type vibe. But not like Columbia or like I don't know, like one of those. What's the hunting brand with the buck? Like the buck, like the deer. And it's something strange. I don't. I swear I'm not like Coleman. I don't know. Anyways, I, I kind of cut you off as you were describing this. So like, give us like so talk more about your company. What's the name? What's the
Okay. It's called A Simple Trail, and the meaning behind that is basically cultivating a simple trail in your life. So I kind of centered around like three mottos: cultivating a simple trail, finding joy in simplicity, and then take your time, see it all, are like my three kind of underlying themes to the
Oh,
brand.
so that's the mission statement then.
That is the mission statement: take your time, see it all.
Wow. Okay, well I have that raises a few questions for me. So what was your order of discovery, right? Did you go, oh, I want to make a brand. I need to find a logo or like a brand? Or did you come up with the idea first of a simple trail and then you expanded on that?
So, okay, I started climbing. Okay, my first climbing ever, I was 4 years old.
Four. Okay, I've
Four.
never gone climbing.
You haven't?
No, I have not.
So,
I
so
know.
you're being brought to climbing now. So that sucks for you. But
No, I'm getting it's the problem with this whole thing. I'm getting exposed to things I don't know. Man,
well, what sucks is that like because you're interviewing me, you have to experience it now afterwards. So you have to climb to kind of really get in that mindset, get
I
in that
know.
granola guy. You
Can I
know,
really wear the hat if I'm not chewing a granola bar hanging off a mountain? I
no, you
mean,
can't. You have to experience it once, and then you can.
okay. All right. All right,
Yeah.
I'll think about it. I'll think about it.
What was I saying before I started making fun of you for not climbing?
No, you were talking about
Oh, where it started. Where it started.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I was climbing. I climbed the first time 4 years old. I think I tried. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I think I tried 13 sports growing up.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah.
So I went through a lot of them. As long as you consider dance a sport, which I do.
It's a sport. If any sort of organized competition, in my opinion, is a sport.
Okay, heard. So as long as you count that, then it was 13. And then I guess after trying majority of sports, I kind of came back to climbing. And I realized that that was what I really liked, and the community there I really liked because it's not necessarily like I feel like a lot of sports is like very competitive, very like you're against someone always, whether or not that's like the other team or if it's like a single sport like gymnastics, you're always competing against someone. Where unless you're in a climbing competition, climbing itself is more of a group activity where it's like people support people. You're all cheering each other on. There's no real like competitive aspect.
Yeah, that's a very interesting analysis I haven't thought about. Like it's more exploration based and just expanding on what you've seen and what you've done. It's like a book club. You know what I mean?
What club?
It's like a book club, kind of. You know what I mean? It's like a group of people just go out and like just
Yeah. No, yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah. Which is fun because it takes away that like negative aspect. You're all like supporting each other. So I liked that community aspect. And I guess like through that, I realized that like because I was in dance a lot of my life and there's a lot of like competitive, there's a lot of you have to be going fast in this to get better, like that kind of not hustle and bustle, but like it is more of that. And then once I started climbing, I realized that like oh, like, yeah, the place that we're going to is 2.5 hours away. Stop stressing out about when you're getting there. It's more about the journey behind it than like,
Yeah.
hurry
Yeah.
up and get to this place. You got to be here for this time. And I fell in love with that aspect of that. And that kind of, and I'm going all over the place. Keep in mind, this is my ADHD talking. But
You're fine. You're totally fine.
basically, I've always been super into like branding things and like even growing up, me and Martha growing up, I think we were good, ooh, 10 or 11. We like made a little like spa company and just stuff like that. Like always liked the aspect of like small business and like I don't know. I thought I was like such a mom growing up because I loved just like what is it called? Like papyrus or that what is it? Like a
It's
paper store with like
a
containers.
paper store?
Yes, I was obsessed with the paper store. They have like wrapping paper and like cards and like things that they're like, thank you for ordering, and just like a paper store. Like I was obsessed with that growing up. Like that was my thing.
I've actually been in I actually know what you're talking about though. I've actually been in a paper store.
They're fun. They're
They're
fun.
they're, they're interesting. I didn't know that was like a thing that existed until I went in. Like I was like I picked like the weight and I picked like the color of like cardstock too. It was interesting.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
I think there's one in like Avalon. I think so. This was forever ago though. It might not be there anymore.
Okay, okay. I feel like paper stores honestly don't do well, and then they get shut down and move somewhere else.
At least it beats Staples. I hate Staples. I could have a whole segment on this podcast for just hate on Staples.
No, because Staples is boring. It takes like Target boring section and makes it the whole store.
It is literally it feels like a DMV for paper and office supplies. Like it is so incredibly boring. Like you're spot on. Like when I walk in there, I feel like it is a void of any of all life and happiness. I can't imagine living there.
Bright. It's giving like hospital lights and then like paper, but like not the good paper, not the sparkly good paper. The boring white sheets.
And then you pay like I've like tried to use their printers there because they didn't have a like my parents didn't want a colored printer. Like no, they probably did. They just didn't want to have to buy the ink. And I always needed stuff printed in color. And so anytime I went there, you'd spend so much money for like 2 sheets of paper.
Oh, they tax you. It's the business store tax. You get taxed for that.
This it sucks. I hate going there. And buy so okay, here's the motto. Just buy your own printer and buy your own ink. It's definitely worth it.
Yeah, but you can't print on the big things. It's so expensive to get like a printer that's gonna print
That's
like
true.
big sheets.
That's true. If you need a banner, you can't do that at home most of the time.
All my projects for school right now. For everyone listening, I go to SCAD University. Um, that so for all our projects we have 10 by 10s. So I can't print that at home. I have a nice printer. I have the
Oh
color,
no.
but they're all 10 by 10s. So then I'm still stuck going to Staples
You could tape
and
it
dealing with all that.
together.
No, my teacher was such a little butthead. No offense to anyone.
Yeah. Keeping
Because
it.
if
Thank you
you
for
had like
keeping my podcast PG. I'm
you're welcome.
joking.
You're welcome. You're so welcome. No, because if you had like one fray of your paper, she would like knock 10 points down and be like, it's not presentable, it's ugly. So
Like the corners bent.
yeah, like if it wasn't perfect, aka doesn't look like a company, like a machine made it all pristine and nice, she was like, you're stupid, go home, start over.
Okay, that's interesting. What's your major at SCAD?
I'm in for interior design, but I'm actually thinking of switching to graphic, but I don't know. I don't know.
Graphic design, I feel like is a very uh open degree. You know what I mean? I feel like there's a lot of ways you could go about getting a job in graphic design or doing your own stuff. Like I feel like a lot of graphic design is just the skill aspect. Like I feel like there's a lot of degrees in college where you're not really learning a bunch of skill, whereas I feel like in stuff like graphic design, you're learning a lot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. A lot of softwares and everything.
And I feel like a lot of people go into graphic design don't actually know a lot previously, or they only know what they wanted to know or were interested in learning.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. Like, I've tried to like research what apps to use and like for making the designs that I have. And it's so hard to figure out those complex softwares. Like Adobe, no, I can't figure that out without help. That has so many buttons and
So
there's
many
so many
settings,
variations.
yeah.
There's so many variations. Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Fresco painting. I don't know what they all do.
Yeah, I hate how they're all so like I like refuse to pay for one of them, which to be fair, I never use anything like that. Like occasionally. And anytime I do, I'm finding the free version and then I'm gonna just take tools from each free version and just move it from over and over and over. Like I'm not paying just to get the background removed. I'm not doing that.
If you need your background moved, look up Remove BG. It's free and I'm obsessed with it.
Oh yeah, I've used I usually just look up the free auto generator ones and I just use those.
Okay. Because it's good. I didn't even know how to remove background until recently, and it has saved my life.
Yeah, I was like it's not and a lot of and even those ones where you've had to pay for it, half the time they don't even do a good job. Like half the time they're just kind of crap.
Yeah. So it's like there's no difference. I've noticed if it's like download and then they're like download HD, they look almost identical. I'm like, really? You're making me pay $3 per image
Yeah.
for your HD whatnot?
Yeah, the only times that stuff like that really applies is if you're doing big prints, stuff like that, when you need it high quality. From my experience, I don't have a lot of experience on this. I'm gonna talk like I know a lot about certain things, but that's just because I want to relate.
Yeah. No, you got to BS your things. You got to BS your way. It's okay. I don't know what I'm talking about half the time.
I'm just sitting here yapping. It's the worst person to get on the podcast. I'm joking, joking.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Do you want me to leave? Do you want me to leave?
He just gets up, walks out of the room, just like, all right, good thing she's gone.
Your new interviewer, interviewee.
I have my next question. What are some things about with your business? What are some difficulties you ran into, whether it was with selling, with advertising, basically things you learned along the way that you kind of pinpoint and feel like that was a new realization?
Okay. Are you saying more just like problems in general that I've come across, or like it has to be a problem that I've solved?
Both, yeah, whichever.
Well, what we were talking about with removing background, somehow I didn't know there was apps and things to remove backgrounds when I first started, and I was in losing my mind trying to figure out how to get it printed on a hat without them printing like the big brick of white.
Yeah, no, yeah,
I'll figure it out. Now it's easy. Now I figured it out. But I spent so long trying to find like certain makers like for making hats, like who instead of it being like a machine they're using, it's like a actual person stitching because I could not figure out how to be like, hey, like on like the automatic ones without like having a human to human
oh
interaction.
yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
I don't know how to freaking not have a big brick of white. I don't know how to do this.
yeah. I guess you kind of had to try with those people who like do the quotes, and you're just like, hey, can you just remove the white?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's how I originally started, which now I know how to do the removing, so I don't have to go to like very, very specific people to get things embroidered, which is really nice. But that was a big, big issue for a while, figuring that out.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
And then my other issue that I haven't figured out, so if anyone knows, if you know, help me,
Okay.
because my ads on Instagram, I like put them, you know how you have to like put the money into Instagram first or like Meta Pay or whatever it is?
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
you pull it out. First of all, rude because they munch half your money.
They do.
They munch so much. I put $20 in. I had $14. Like, why are you taking that much? And like I did, and then the ad doesn't even work. My ads won't work. They keep saying there's an error, and they're like, you have to go verify. So then I go to their website, the Instagram.com verify whatnot. Sure, all my credit card information's there. I make sure everything's all good. Everything says it's good. I have the select like set money that's in there. I see that. I press post ad. Error. Go to the website. Over and over again. Cannot figure it out. Can't post ads. It's driving me insane.
Oh, so you haven't ran any ads.
I haven't run any.
See, I don't know. I've tried. I've done a couple ads. She show's been a while ago. I kind of not to say I feel like with what you're doing, Instagram ads are gonna work better than what they did for me. I do TikTok ads most of the time, and oh, Boost Post. It's kind of an ad, but they have their own separate thing for actual ads. But
On
with the
TikTok?
Instagram, yeah, on TikTok, yeah. Um, there's all these ones. You just have to find the right platforms that have access to that. But um, when it comes to Instagram, I do not know. I've never had issues. I will say I don't know how effective it is for some things because like I've had so anytime I've done anything like I usually did ads for giveaways so people would, see it and they would want to follow and that's how those did well for me. But then just random ones, not great. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've heard they work well. I just wish it would like actually work on my phone or my laptop or whatever. It just every single time, no matter how much I troubleshoot, I've gone in contact with my bank to make sure everything was correct.
Has it cost you money each time or?
Well, I have my like I put like okay, so I wanted to like just start out with like not too much because I just wanted to see if like it was even worth it. So I put in $20. It took six of them. So I have $14 sitting in Instagram ready for ads and it's just sitting there because I can't pull it back out.
Mm-hmm.
It's just sitting there and I can't run ads. And I'm like, you have my money. You clearly have it because I got the little green check mark when I put the money in and you took six of it. You have it, but you're telling me there's insufficient funds when I'm running a $14 ad. It's $14. Take the $14 and be happy. Stop erroring.
Well, to anybody listening or any of my followers, if you have experienced this, just let me know. I let her know. Um, I do not know. I mean, I might would have to see it, but obviously we're not doing that now. But yeah, that's interesting.
So that's probably my biggest pain. That's my biggest problem that I've run into is the ads.
Just basically exposure, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. Because I want to get. Also, Instagram decided to like block me recently, where it's like I thought it was like that, like not beginner's luck or like when when you get a new Instagram account and it boosts your first like three videos, you get a lot more views, you get a lot more likes on them because it's a new account and they try to like help you out. I got that account in 2022, so it wasn't a new account when I started posting a lot more in October, just a couple months ago. But my first three posts after like the 2 years that I had it were doing really well, and then recently it's declined. So I don't know. Instagram hates me right now, so we'll see.
It's just for reals. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's reels and like my posts have been doing better. Like the actual like photos have been getting more views, but my reels have gone down.
I don't get it with TikTok Reels, or not TikTok, Instagram. Like my Instagram Reels don't do well. Like, for any of my followers, like I really encourage y'all just follow me on TikTok and YouTube. Instagram, I really don't care. Instagram's really just where I post photos and for close people who care. And I have 700 followers on my Instagram, but my Reels get like 40 to 50 views. I mean. And I have 700 followers, like I'm not even getting new views. Like I'm not even getting the views from my current followers. It's also probably a number of things. Like if you stopped posting for a long period of time, I think that has a lot to do with it because you fall out of people's algorithms when they first follow you. Um, but yeah, I don't know. That's I think that's the toughest thing with what you're doing. And I think anybody who's in the same shoes as you is just getting it out there and one having a design, which I do think you have a design like that. I think you're very I mean this in you have very cute like stuff, you know what I mean? But in a good way where anybody could wear it. I'm supposed to be getting a hat soon, so
I
that's
have
important.
a hat. I have multiple of the one you want. I'm just chilling here, but
I'm gonna be making her a rug. That's the exchange. I think I might. I think I might would do that exchange with a lot of other people for free stuff because I don't mind making rugs.
It's a good like deal. As soon as you texted me about that, I jumped on it because like number one, if you are running a smaller business, you don't have. It's like yes, you have some money to spare, but you also are like low key greedy with it because you're like, I want to put this back into my company.
Yeah, yeah,
So like
yeah.
trading product for product is such a good deal for like smaller business people because it almost feels more profitable without any money exchange.
Yeah, it feels like an ad that you kind of, because I think, and obviously, okay, I don't want to sound like, obviously, I know you're still trying to get the ball rolling, and I know I might have more of a following than you right now. I hope you don't take offense to saying,
No, not at all.
um, because it's not a competition. But it still benefits me and it still benefits you doing things like this because it's expanding reach and conjoining communities, right? Because my people who want to see my stuff are gonna go to it, and they might check your stuff out, and then people who are interested in or who are close to you who support you a lot are gonna come to my stuff and check my stuff out. Um, and I think I like partnering with people. I this is I think it's a good way to grow your account and not waste anybody's time. You know what I mean?
100% because it's kind of like an equal trade. Like obviously, like we're both trying to get our name, our brand more out there. So the more you have, like, it's like yes, people who are actually like buying from you. Like if I'm just a random person, I buy a guitar. I owe you less, as in like I don't really like I paid you already. I don't care that I'm gonna advertise your guitar. Like that I don't have any like friendship area to be like, oh, like I need to boost him, whatnot, whatnot.
Yeah, if I buy one of your hats, I already paid for what I got. You know what I mean?
You don't owe that person anything. So like when you're like even like people like who you know and they just like boost you up in your comment section. Like doing a trade or collaboration with someone who like not owes you, but someone who you're friends with, you have that like, oh, I want to help them. So you boost it as high as you can.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I think. Well, and I think the biggest thing with this podcast is um, shining a light on creative people, I think. And I think that's important because I think a lot of people get deterred from uh, exploring more of their creative side because they don't see a way to be successful from it. And I think like even though I don't think you should solely get this from it, and obviously, regardless of what happens with your company, you shouldn't take that whatever success you get and be like, that's the value of it. Like that's not it at all. Because like tomorrow everybody could unfollow me, and I think at the end of the day, I'd be like, you know what? It's still cool that I do all this stuff, and I still enjoy doing it, and I'm not just gonna stop. The only reason I do this is it gives people more of an incentive to work on making an account and spreading what they do with other people so they can get the awareness or the views that they deserve to have, right?
Love your like outlook on that because it is so easy to be like, oh, like all these other companies are working. Because like yes, you can have your own little niche, but there's always someone doing your niche as well. Like you're not gonna be the only person who makes guitars. I'm not the only person that makes a nature hat, a nature like shirt. And so it's so easy to like do comparison and be like, well, my company's not working. It's not gonna work. It must have been easier for them. Maybe they had more money they could put in and like invest initially. There's so much comparison. And like as long as you like what you're doing, like what you said, like even if you lost all your followers and you were just doing it because you liked doing it, you would still do it because it's a hobby, it's a passion, it's a creative outlet that you enjoy. So like it's always gonna like you're always gonna be able to grow it. Like it's not just like it's gonna just like zero out and you're screwed. Like
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And yeah, I think and I don't know where my stuff's gonna go. I'm starting this podcast to see where it goes. A lot of people have told me that I have a very here recently have told me that I have like a host voice,
No, you do. You do. You do.
and and I don't know how to feel. And it's totally fine with me because I've been like I'm very much the type of person who's like if I get to sit and talk with people for an hour and then post that and that does well, that's totally fine with me. Like that sounds like time well spent, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Um, I have another question that's a little bit off topic. So, I guess diving more into the creative aspect um that I asked, I'm trying to figure out the best way to word this question. When it comes to do you have other ideas or other creative things that you're wanting to pursue other than your business right now?
Other than business right now, it's a lot of other small things. Like I feel like I'm constantly wanting to do something creative. Like obviously, I don't like right now. Our school break, we do it by trimesters at SCAD, and so I got off on day was it November 14th, and I don't go back until January 6th. They give us 7.5 weeks off. So and I don't have a job right now. Keep that in mind. So like for me, any time I have is usually either spent with brand work or finding other creative work. And like it's sometimes hard to like give yourself the grace to be like, oh well, I just want to do this creative project that won't do anything for me. It's just fun.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of working on company work, and I have had a struggle with that. I'm like, well, I should just be working on my designs for like the company. But I would say a lot of my like random creative stuff is a lot of painting or drawing are my things. Like they don't really have a purpose besides I just like painting. Um, right now I just washed an old pair of Converse. This is really random. I just washed an old black pair of Converse, and my goal is to just because I don't wear them anymore because they were like filthy and ratty, and so I'm washing them. And I'm just gonna like paint on the canvas and see if like they turn out. That's just like the random BS that like I have fun doing.
Yeah, cool. Just like cool, small little projects. Not for really any like huge benefit. Just kind of yeah, yeah. I like that. I've only done like painting shoes like one time, and I always had fun with it. And I look back at those shoes, and I'm like, I would never wear those out in public, but they're still kind of cool.
Yeah, no, that was me in quarantine. I tied out a pair of like old like white Keds.
Hmm.
Atrocious. So much fun. They are the brightest little rainbow things. I would not like. I don't wear tie dye shoes, but they were fun to make.
Yeah, get some old shoes or go to Walmart and just paint them, and then you'll never wear them, but it'll be cool. I have seen people who actually wear their like custom shoes though, and I think that's pretty cool.
As long as you like can paint a little bit, like they look good. As long as and, like you have to have some talent. You can't just like put a blob of white paint and be like,
I mean, yeah, that's fair. You can just sticker bomb your shoes. I don't know.
yep, that's not perfect. Like the old like what are they called? Visco Girl, like Hydro Flask. Just
Oh
like
no.
make your shoes like that.
That brought me back. Man, that's gonna really open up. I realized I have a lot of on my TikTok, I have a lot of not a lot, but I have a good amount of followers who are younger than me. A lot of them are significantly younger than me, and I don't really know how to feel about that because I thought they would be older than me, if anything. Um, and I honestly think a lot of my followers think I'm like 30, so I'm like not gonna tell them how old I am. Just to see where that goes.
When you say younger than you, do you mean like it is like 13, 14, 15 year olds? Or do you mean like young, young?
Oh no, 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 like 13, 14, 15.
Okay, yeah.
Which I'm not against it. I'm a little shocked that they're on TikTok, but by all means, like to be fair, I got TikTok when I was 17. I think I've been on like over a year or something like that.
Yeah. I got TikTok in quarantine. So I was 13. And highly don't recommend. I deleted it though. So like I know you said that you sell a good amount on TikTok and you've grown a lot on TikTok. TikTok is so painful to me that like I can't like I tried to sacrifice it and just like make it like a brand account and do that. I can't. I can't do TikTok. I notice that I scroll and it bothers me.
Yeah, no, I I completely agree. Like I want to be very clear. I like TikTok for its uh engagement purposes. Like you can get a lot more views, a lot it's a lot more effective than Instagram. But it is there's some strange stuff on TikTok. It's a strange platform, I'll be honest. And it's definitely one of those things like that's what's good about me is I literally go on there to post and to interact with followers and like that's it. Like I'll occasionally look through followers, like people who follow me and I follow them. I'll look through their stuff occasionally, just to see kind of what everybody's posting. Um, but for the most part, I'm usually doing uh I'm not I don't find myself just scrolling very often.
Yeah. I feel like whenever I like re-download it, like it's a cycle. I'm like, but it's not that bad. So like I'll just get it for my brand. And then I get it. And then I like for the first like 2 weeks, I'm like, oh, I'm only doing brand work. Like this is fine. And then when the app is open, like when you like do your brand stuff, you get off. And like I'm sure so many people either I feel so goofy like being like "I'm listening, but like everyone who is listening, I feel like everyone can relate to the fact of like that weird off feeling when you're like bored of an app. Like you're on Snapchat, you're like, oh, this. So you do like the little like half swipe thing and you see all the apps that are open. And you're like, oh, let me click Instagram or let me click this one. Just because we're like, we're mindless. We're mindless little robots on our phones. And like you go to that and like I've seen myself be like, oh, I'm bored of Snapchat. And I get off and then I click back in. I'm like, wait, you just were bored of this. Why are you in the same app?
Oh my gosh, don't even get me started with like Snapchat and those story things, dude.
Like not the spotlight, like not the goofy reels, but like the like little like area where it's like all the like little clickbait things. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, those
They're
I'm
boring
a
though.
sucker.
They're
I'm a
so
sucker
boring.
for them. Yeah, they're so bad. They're absolutely atrocious, and usually it's the same video you've seen like 5,000 times at this point. It's like I I'm very ashamed of this, but the videos where there's Subway Surfers underneath, watch this clip. Watch this have Subway Surfers underneath it while I'm saying this. And that's how somebody's ingesting this content. But what I'm saying is though, those videos, they do it for me. I mean,
It's bad though. Like they're so entertaining. Like I'm like, oh yeah, get the coins. Like you're running, you're doing your thing. Because I was a Subway Surfer kid. Like I was such a Subway Surfer kid. So so much fun to watch. And the sad thing is, I just saw a video on Instagram. We're cooked. We're all screwed because someone's professor. There's this website that you can listen to like a lecture or whatever they like have assigned to you, and it has either Subway Surfer, whatever the other one is, or like there's like those videos that have like the like ASMR like slime whatnot going on
yeah, they're like cutting like the foam and
that are like little like kinetic sand and it's like chopped up.
yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
They offer that now, and you can just be like, oh, like I'm gonna listen to this lecture while I watch Subway Surfer. We're so screwed. If that's
We're so
college
screwed.
level, we're so screwed. We're all little like brain rods.
I know it's getting bad. It's getting really bad because it's like the problem is though, I feel like we can't it's not just something with our generation. Like I think it's just an inherent thing with people. Like people like I don't know. Older generations are gonna come on here and they're gonna be like, "Oh, it's because y'all can't do anything. Oh, it's because you're just so addicted to your phone." And I'm like, "You can't tell me watching this dude absolutely dominate in Minecraft parkour makes it so much more enjoyable." To listen to what you're saying. Like if my grandpa was just held like Subway Surfers like this on an iPad in front of me and just talking, I think
Oh yeah,
I
you could listen
would.
for hours.
Oh yeah, I'd be like, I can do this all day.
And like hottest take. I don't know if I'm gonna get like completely like. Well, it depends on like the I guess audience that you attract on your videos.
They're very nice.
I don't
I've
know, but I'm saying like age wise. I don't know if they're like I'm gonna attack the audience right now if they're older or if it's more like our age. But I feel like we get so much crap, and like yes, we deserve crap because we are little mindless little things walking around with our phones. But like we get so much crap that like oh we're always on our phones. Oh sorry, it's my Duolingo wanting to.
oh wow, you gotta keep your streak going.
Sorry, I'm learning French right now. My bad,
Hold
y'all.
on, we'll end the podcast so you can continue your streak. It's
Okay,
fine.
you're good. Okay, good. Thank you. No, but like we get so much crap for you're always on your phone, always this. When it's not necessarily our parents, it's like whoever the like 30-year-old parents right now. I don't know what generation that'd be, but whoever's like the 30-year-old parents right now,
It's probably the back end of millennials, right?
I guess so. It's basically like in my personal humble opinion, hot take, we are good at multitasking because we grew up with phones. So I can listen to you while doing this. Not to like name names, but I have this neighbor who's like a 30-year-old mom, and she is like, you can't break her. Like, I think it's because that age of people didn't initially grow up with phones and got it later, so they have a weirder focus. Like, we can, like, oh, we're on this break, or like, I'm listening and multitasking, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's almost like I've seen so many just like, they're like, I guess 25 to like 40-year-old women who just like, walk across the street completely glued. I've almost hit so many people because they're just walking and they don't look up. I'm like, hey, like I'm like flashing my lights, hey, nothing, no recognition. Getting it, bringing in their groceries on the phone. There's no like breakage. Like they don't look up.
Yeah, if my mom sees this, like no hate to her. And she'll probably let me have it if she does hear this. But she it's very funny because my mom will be on her phone and she'll be watch she just recently got Instagram and she'll be scrolling reels because my mom got addicted to these accounts that it's these really sarcastic people who like review these really bad baking recipes. You know what I'm talking about? Like the really nasty ones where it's like a whole block of Velveeta.
Those videos piss me off on a whole level.
Yeah, it's great. It's great content because I freaking love them when they're just actually having a heart attack watching them. But mom gets addicted to it, and if she's watching one of those or if she's just scrolling Instagram, like you'll say something to her, and then like the latency on her response is like 15 minutes. Like it'll literally, you'll be like, "What are you doing?" And then you'll walk, leave the house, come back, and then she'll answer your question.
Yeah, yeah. Because they didn't grow up multitasking. We like as stupid as we all are for our phones. Like it is the phones. It really is. They are the problem. But we at least know how to break a little bit.
I would say it's multitasking in a different way. Like they're probably better at multitasking with different things. Because there's obviously a lot of things that are a lot more automated for us now that we probably couldn't multitask with. But when it comes to technology and phones, um, I would say I'm pretty solid at a listening and texting something. Though I will be honest, I'm not the best at it. Like if I have to send like an in-depth text message to somebody, I actually got to be like, okay, hold on. Like I have to be like, okay, wait a minute, actually.
No, because I've noticed that if I'm like in a conversation and texting or something like where like something else is going on, I have looked down at my phone before like sending the text, and maybe like whoever's in the room is talking about like the cookies they're baking or whatnot, and I'm like sending this text to like a boss. I'm like, hey, I can't make it in today. Blah 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 blah. I look down and it's like I can't make it in because the cookies in the oven, and it's like it makes no sense. I like combine the conversations.
Yeah, you're just like, so anyways, yeah,
Nothing makes sense.
yeah, I got you. I got you. I'm gonna ask kind of like my final question. So I guess my final question would be, I know you kind of told me not to ask you something like this, but what are your goals? What are you aiming for, and what are you okay with reaching?
Like, are you saying like person like brand wise?
Yeah.
Or like in general? Yeah, yeah. Well, okay. Well, first of all, I didn't say don't ask me goals. I said don't ask me a 10-year plan because I couldn't give it.
Okay, true, true. Okay, my bad.
My reachable goal at the moment right now, like I guess the quickest one that I'm going for is that I am working on my website finally. So it's not gonna just be Instagram. My goal is to have the website up by the first of 2025. So I have good 4 weeks to get that up. Gotta go take some photos. Oh, speaking of which, I'm gonna promote myself real quick if we are all okay with that. Here is my new hat. This is my holiday hat. I haven't shown you this yet either, so take a
Yeah, I know.
peek.
I love it. Yeah.
I did corduroy. Uh, I'll give you a little crown haul.
Cool, cool. I love hats, so like when you told me you had a hat, I was like, that's my cue.
Yeah. Also, keep in mind, I know you said this was the one you want to trade, but if you want the holiday one instead, let me know because they are new and I'm obsessed with them. They're like because they're thicker because of the corduroy and they're so comfortable and they're warm.
See, I have an awkwardly small head, so
They're
it sounds so.
adjustable.
No, I know. I usually wear flat hats. Like you'll always notice me with flat hats on. Not saying,
Like the dad hat one, like
yeah,
these.
I'm a very like a cap-ass guy. Yeah.
I've got so much hate on the dad hats because we live in Georgia, so many of the guys here are like,
Oh God.
I like my trucker hats. Ugh."
No, because we okay. No hate to them because I know them myself. But we have everywhere has this, but that the baseball kids with the nasty mullets and the the netted trucker hats and baseball hats.
Yeah, not my thing.
Nah, it'll be a cold day in hell when I wear have a mullet. So
I will expose myself. I do in fact own a Bass Pro hat. So
that's different. That's
that is
different.
okay,
A little
okay,
bit
good.
different. As long as you're not addicted, as long as it's not got oil stains on it and it's the same hat you wear 365 days out of the year.
Oh no, I have a hat collection, so they all get like worn occasionally.
Yeah, of course. Well, I guess you kind of already plugged a little bit, but I was gonna say if you wanna say your Instagram plug or anything like that.
My Instagram is a simple trail. That's it. No spaces, no nothing. And then I don't have a TikTok right now. I did, but I don't anymore. And then the website will be going up the 1st of January.
Well, go follow her. I'll have something in the description most likely. Whether wherever you're listening to this from, whether it be a podcast on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or you're seeing this from a clip, you'll see this somewhere. Um, but yeah, I would definitely is there anything you want to, this was my last question. This is what I'm going to ask everybody because I made it my little thing. What is your advice to anyone who might be in similar shoes as you?
Like starting a small business
Yeah.
from it.
Yeah, what would be well, it doesn't even have to be that. It can just be creative mindset. What is your advice you'd give somebody?
My advice, and keep in mind, this is something I'm working on myself. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm no all be all. But stop judging yourself during the process. Stop being like, oh, it's not good enough. Oh, it's too small. Have fun with it. If it goes, it goes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You follow your passion. Stop putting the fear first, and like have fun with it.
Absolutely. That's yeah, I think that is a very good thing to take away from it. Is just have fun with it and enjoy because it's not about other people. It's about you, like, and you're just outsourcing your ideas and stuff and seeing if people want that.
Like enjoy the process of it. Stop like freaking out. That's something I'm working on too. But that would be my advice today.
Well, thank you all for listening. I want to, if you are interested in being on the podcast, I want you to go ahead and join my Discord server. I'm going to have an application type thing on Discord server. And if you are just somebody who just wants to show off your art, your business, whatever, I have channels for that where I'm letting people just share what they make, what they sell, just so we kind of have like a community board. But yeah, thank you guys for listening and bye.